team for letting me speak today and hopefully getting you excited about being a coach or volunteering to help the next generation of humans get into that space. So go ahead, next. So this year is an amazing year. We decided to do the Cal Poly's California Cyber Innovation Challenge 2020 to talk about the convergence of space and cyber. So what we decided to do this year was try to get young people interested in deep space networking, other networking protocols, Python, some old stuff like C++, as well as Wireshark. And so I'll talk a little bit more about those, but we really wanted to get young people started down this path. In the next 5 to 7 years, there'll be a lot of retirees from the space programs that are running. And by the way, remember, satellites give you everything. So next. So this is our 4th year doing this. It's the California Cyber Institute, which is in San Luis Obispo on the base, military base, the Army National Guard. And it's a high school slash middle school competition for the state of California. It consists of teams from both middle again and high school, and it exposes students to a future career in cybersecurity. Palo Alto Networks has supported this event since the beginning, and we're requesting employees to either come, observe, coach, virtually, of course, between now and October 2nd through the 4th, and Cal Poly and Palo Alto Networks will offer several resources for coaches and students to prepare for it, and we'll get to that in a second. Next. So we do need your help. So this is a heat map. There are 3,982 high schools in California, 3,066 Palo Alto employees in California, and currently, wow, mind blown, 67,915 unfilled cybersecurity jobs in California. So this is a big push, and we really, really want everyone on the call to make an effort and see what they can do to change these numbers. So what is it again? California Cyber Innovation Challenge this year is a wonderful resource that allows students to do challenges that are based on stuff like Huffman coding. We also look at different circuitry. We look at Wireshark, and I'll get down to the nitty-gritty on those. But again, this year we're focusing on satellites and hacking. And in a second, we're going to show a video on walking you through the actual space that the kids will go through. Next. So what's really interesting about what we had to shift this year is, again, COVID-19. Last year, we focused on the medical industry, and we had 8 rooms open from a NICU to a radiology to an operating room. All of these different ones were actually built, and the students would walk through each one of the physical sets and come to a conclusion what happened with the hacked pacemaker / ransomware that we actually did. So this year we had a huge shift from going from live to virtual, but I think you'll be really impressed in a couple minutes when we show you the video. So again, this is Mission Millennium, launching the next generation into immersive cybersecurity and space systems challenge. Right now we're using AWS, Amazon's Sumerian, and that is similar to Unity or a gaming engine that allows people to create 3D environments that are virtually acceptable through a web browser. You do not have to have the goggles. So Ashley, if you can pop open that video, and just to give everyone an example, it's about 4 minutes, 25 seconds, not very long, but you'll be engaged. It's awesome.
All right. You hear it?
Yes.
This is the Network Operations Center. The overall goal of this puzzle is to gain access to the computer in the room and the files on it. When participants enter the room, they will see a traditional-looking office space designed to appear as the office of an executive at a satellite infrastructure company. Participants will use their knowledge of commonly kept passwords and passphrases, as well as contextual clues throughout the room to gain access to the computer. This is a control room designed after a control room in a ground control station. When participants enter the room, they will see 4 main desks with monitors and several workstations underneath large projectors. Participants will have to use their knowledge of logic gates, ciphers, and general problem-solving skills to succeed in this room. This is the clean room. The overall goal of this room is to figure out how to unlock the clean room computer. When participants first walk in, they will see the outside prep area of a clean room. It is filled with personal protective equipment, such as bunny suits, foot protectors, and sticky mats. Participants will use their knowledge of Huffman coding and common clean room practices to solve this puzzle. The overall goal of this room is to access data on the crashed satellite. This room is an open outdoor landscape where a failed rocket launch crashes back down to Earth. Pieces of the satellite cover the ground surrounding a small tool shed. To solve this puzzle, participants must find out key information from the crash site and use their knowledge of coding and satellite structure. After solving all of the other rooms, students can access the courtroom to get information on potential suspects in this cybercrime.
After the participants have gone through the 3D rooms, they will have access to the instance that you're looking at with a bunch of different files and programs and challenges that they'll have to look at to try to piece together the puzzle and solve the crime that has occurred. The first one that they'll have is this program called STK Viewer. This is going to allow the participants to see satellite positions, and there's going to be some small challenges within it asking about satellite orbits, some things about missing characters and coordinates and where and when satellites were flying over what countries, and so the participants will have to answer these questions. Immediately after, they're going to go and start looking at a Raspberry Pi. There's a Raspberry Pi with a Python script that was running on it, as well as some CSV files that were captured from it. And this is going to pair with a Wireshark PCAP, which is going to be taken from the crime scene, and they're going to also find CSV logs, connections, and other things that are going to help them pinpoint who exactly is the culprit behind this crime. They're then going to go to autopsy, where they can look through the people's computer that is being imaged and under investigation after picking it from the 3D virtual courtroom set. This is going to require them to have an understanding of file systems, common data hiding techniques, such as hiding files, moving things to the trash, putting things in obscure files, and a few other things that we'll save for the challenge. And then finally, they're going to have a satellite code that was running that simulates a satellite's operating system and allows the participants to interact with the peripherals. And so this will let you look at the altitudes, temperature, motion, electronics, transmissions of it, and then also ping the satellite and see why it crashed and what has occurred here. So we're excited to have the participants go through the challenge and share what we've made with you.
All right, first of all, on the shoulders of giants, this is all created by Cal Poly students. And I just am blown away that what we'll be able to put together this year is amazing. And you didn't get to see all of the rooms, but again, we're trying to get the young people into this space, and I think we did a bang up job. And I'm really honored to say that this last weekend we were at DEF CON with the Aerospace Village, woohoo! And we actually ran this challenge with hackers. Or ethical hackers, or whichever team they're on. And it was a very, very great experience for us to go through this, and we have it all automated to get registered and to be able to walk through these. So again, very honored that we were able to run this with a bunch of other folks at the Aerospace Village at DEF CON. So next, I want to talk a little bit about coaching. Next slide. So experience to coach. So what's really cool is what would be helpful is, again, a background in a cybersecurity, IT, or information technology. Definitely some networking helps. But what I definitely wanted to say is most of the time, the students do 90% of the knowledge gaining. right? You're just steering and navigating them. They're very, very intuitive, very, very smart. And some of our best coaches, again, as I said here, been just curious teachers or volunteers that want to work with kids, and you have to have a passion for cybersecurity or IT. And I think that's a really, really great part of this, is the reaching out and getting connected virtually with some young kids that you may be able to point in the right direction. Next. So contacting a school. You'll receive rhetoric that you can copy and paste in an email, send to a principal. Schools will have a volunteer form and live scan process to work with students. A lot of times that's still going to probably be in effect even though you're not touching them. Some of the school districts have still implemented that, and they're just trying to make sure that anybody that's working with young people is safe.
Yeah,
So,
and the live scan, for people that don't know, is a fingerprinting background check process.
yes. Next, the time commitment. So reaching up to October 2nd through the 4th, getting a team, the registration is still available to register a team. So in the next month, if you were able to get a team and able to register, outside the competition, we'd recommend 1 hour every other week to spend an hour prepping for each meeting. And I mean by that, getting some knowledge. And I'm going to show you in a second on our Coach's Corner page, we have all the tools that you actually need. So if we can jump on that really quick, Ashley, switch over to the Coach's Corner, that'd be great. And if you scroll down a little bit, what we've done is there's a welcome video for myself preparing for it. We also mapped this year's challenge to the NICE framework, which is an amazing instance that we did. We're also allowing students to learn about practice challenges. And down below, there's a practice challenge that I wrote. There's also introduction to C, Python, as well as attack vectors. Looking at Wireshark, we've got some free training from Laura Chappell. We have documents, we have PCAPs. We want them to talk a little bit about Bash and understand Linux, basic understanding of command line in Linux, as well as learning how to do autopsy, which is a free forensics tool that students will use to look through an image and try to find things like in the recycle bin or those type of things. Essential reading, if you scroll down a little bit more, we've given a glossary page. We actually will have VentSurf open, our actual event, which is a huge thing. If you don't know who VentSurf is, I have an interview posted up there, as well as other reference material. And then we also have some deep space network overviews, as well as other companies that are supporting this effort to get young people into it. You scroll down a little bit, you can see that we have labtainers, cyber exercises, and other things. So a lot of the time that the coaches is, it's all here. You just want to get them engaged and get them started down that path. If we can go back to the slides.
Mm-hmm.
And the Coach's Corner we just went over, and a key to a successful team I just wanted to say is having passion for helping young people learn or students learn about cybersecurity. The team consists of 6 students maximum. Why? Great question. Thanks for asking in the back. We kind of modeled it after Cyber Patriot, and we wanted to have an alternate. Most of them will become experts in certain parts of the challenge. So again, we want you to have fun. The applications are still available, and we've changed that date, I believe, to the 15th of September. So you can do it even before, after the 9/5. I'm pretty sure I'm changing that to the 15th. Next slide.
And that is applications for teams, right? We're
Correct.
not talking applications to be a coach, right?
That's right. So as a coach, if you have 2 or 3, I would say at least 3 to 6 students you can get, you can sign up. And again, this is all free. We're also using a Discord channel this year. Why? Because that's what students use to game. So we'll be using that as our modality for the students to be jumping around and working together as a collaborative unit or team.
Great. So this link here is once you have a team all set. But
Yes.
we'll talk a little bit about if you're ready to sign up as a coach. There's a different link for that.
Yeah, and the tech level of students competing, again, I think it's really critical. We have tutorials up on there, autopsy, how to use Wireshark, a little bit of beginner Python scripting, as well as Linux. And again, you don't have to know all this. We've given you this. It's just educating the students to push down that lane and be able to know it. You get stuck or need any questions, again, I'm really honored to take 15, 20 minutes of your lunchtime today, and super cool. This is a wonderful event. I hope we intrigued you just a little bit with some of the choices and video.
Quick question for you, Henry. That I saw on the slides the weekend of, I think it was October 2nd through 4th. Is that a hard requirement to be there, make it that date, or if I can't make it?
That's when it's happening virtually. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is that weekend virtually. Sorry, I think I said that, but yes, it is. And actually Friday, you don't have to be there. Saturday is the all day event. And Sunday is the award ceremony till 12. So it goes from 9 to 6 that day. And most of the time you just have to be on the Discord channel, kind of watching your students, answering questions, pointing them in the right direction. For the most part, they do all of it.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right. If you have no further questions, feel free to sign off. I will send a follow-up email with all of the links to everybody that was on the call. We look forward to your participation.
Thank you very much.